So this is my last review of the content on EpicReact.Dev, and I'm excited that you're here to join me. So we've been through a lot together. It's been an amazing last 2 weeks. Can you believe it? It's been 2 weeks since we launched this. My mind is totally blown by this. Things have gone really well. I'm really happy with the response that I've gotten already. People seem to be really happy with the content. So the sale ends today, so if you haven't picked up your copy or your license of EpicReact.Dev, then do it right now. And you know, the nice thing is that EpicReact.Dev is totally worth the full cost, and so it's just a really nice bonus to get it at the discount. Yeah, it's 8 workshops, actually 11, because the last workshop is 4 workshops, so it's 11 workshops, which I typically would charge $600 a ticket for as a live workshop, and all of them, you get all 11 of those for the price of a single workshop at full price. So yeah, it's a silly deal, and people seem to really like it, which makes me happy. So anyway, let's talk about our last piece of info here. If you do have questions, then feel free to ping me or to just ask on Epic React Livestream questions. We will have another live stream today just for questions, a final Q&A to kind of celebrate the end of the launch and the 20% discount, which you can go to EpicReact.Dev right now and you'll get that 20% discount. So don't miss that. It's ending at the end of the day in just under 14 hours. So yeah, and then my live stream, my final Q&A live stream will be in about 4 hours. It'll be like a party or something. All right, cool. So let's come on down. We've reviewed all of this stuff, and now we're here at the last of it, Epic React Experts interviews. So these are all just this, like all of the 8 workshops that we've reviewed already are situations where you just, sit down and you're working through the workshop challenges and stuff. You cannot just toss this up on the Chromecast or anything. But this is different. These ones you can totally just relax on the recliner and watch each one of these individually as you so choose. I just noticed my volume is messed up again. It's like kind of quiet. Let me bump that up a little bit. I can't trust this Ecamm thing. It seems to change things a lot on me. So I'm sorry about that. I need to figure out what's going on with that. So yeah, just chill and watch each of these. So I talked with Tanner Lindsley. This person is fantastic. Huge fan of Tanner. Tanner has built all the stuff here at TanStack. Here, let's see. Shoot, where's the like React query is one that we use in the workshop, in the Build a React App workshops. Yeah, we have a ton of videos on React query. So Tanner is brilliant. He has a lot of really cool open source projects. Strongly recommend that you follow Tanner and pretty much all this stuff. And in fact, he also built React Virtual, which we use in the performance workshop. So we have a great conversation about open source libraries and some of the stuff that he's built there. Then we talk about animations and interactions and Whimsy with Josh, Como, yeah. And Josh is awesome. Big fan of Josh. He's just a good friend of mine, and his blog is something to be enjoyed. So Josh Como, Josh W. Como, and his blog is at joshwcomo.com. I'll just here, I should put in TanStack here as well. So I'm gonna put these in our chat. So yeah, his blog is awesome. Like, he's got so much cool stuff going on in here. There are even sounds when you click on things, like you see the little icon there. I don't know if you can hear this, but it's, yeah, this is definitely a thing to be enjoyed for sure. And look, it's like moving and stuff. Yeah, I love it. It's really cool. So he and I have a great conversation about Whimsy and different ways that you can enhance your user's experience in using your app. And then we talked with Guillaume Roush, who is just a brilliant engineer. He has some really awesome ideas. He's inspired some ideas in some of my testing philosophy and different things like that. And he also is the CEO of Vercel, And there's a lot of cool things coming out of Vercel, like Next.js, for example. Actually Next.js Conf is coming up really soon, and it's free, so go register for that. It's pretty cool. But yeah, Vercel is awesome. And then also he was the original author. Here, actually, let me copy this over here. He was the original author of Socket.io. I don't know if that, yep. So really awesome. Pretty much all Node applications that use WebSockets are probably using Socket.io. Very popular library. So I had a great conversation with Guillermo about Next and Vercel. And then I talked with Ben Elegbadu about building React-based design systems and component libraries and stuff. So yeah, that was a really enjoyable talk. And Ben has this cool thing, Elegbadu. He's got this cool thing on his website called mini shops. And there it is. So check out Ben's mini shops. They're pretty cool. It's like miniature workshops. I think they're like 2 or 3 hour long. Yeah, 3 hour long. Fully remote workshops. Yeah, so all of you who are like, why doesn't Epic React support TypeScript? Well, it's because I haven't made my own workshop on TypeScript yet. And he has it. So if you want to go learn TypeScript with Ben, he's awesome. And on the 28th is when he's doing that. So yeah, he's got a bunch of these scheduled. Awesome person. I like Ben a lot. And we had a great conversation. He basically, his job right now is what I was doing at the end of my time at PayPal. So we had a lot to share with each other. And then I talked with Tejas, who is just a super nice person. Really happy to know him. And whoops, let's looks like that image just got in front of our video, but we'll fix that right now. Here we go. Yeah, so Tejas is a cool dude. He's yeah, he actually taught me how to use Docker, so that was fun. I mean, I don't really know how to use Docker super well, but I have made Docker containers and images and run those in containers and stuff, and it's great. So yeah, I like Tejas, and he talks a little bit about the React ecosystem. And actually, if you want to, on my YouTube channel, I have a live stream of where Tejas taught me how to use Docker. So if that's something that's interesting to you, go to my videos and we'll look for, yeah, I just have so many videos recently from my live streams. Hold on, it should be able to show me all of those. Tejas, let's see if, there we go, Learning Docker with Tejas. So that is fun, and I will paste that here also. Okay, cool. So then, if you didn't get enough from me and Michael talking in the podcast, which, by the way, if you haven't seen the podcast or listened to the podcast yet, like, go listen to this. I'm really happy with it, and I think it's really interesting, and yeah, and there's a transcript too. So if that's something that you're into, yeah, really fun conversation. I talked with him for hours recording these podcasts, and so I had him on where I was the interviewer, and that was a lot of fun. So Michael has some really cool ideas around styling of React components and applications in general. And we have some really insightful conversations there. So enjoy our conversations with Michael. He's just an inspiration to me, really awesome person and a dear friend. So Michael's great. This one is a mind blower. So Paul Henschel has built several things. If you've heard of Zustand, which is a state management library for React, or actually in the workshops we show you Recoil, but Paul built Jotai, which is basically just like Recoil, except it's more type safe. So I actually, like, last minute was thinking, ooh, maybe I should switch from Recoil to Jotai. But there was one feature that Jotai didn't support at the time, and so I didn't switch it over. But you'd be probably pretty pleased to use either one of those. So that's why I kept Recoil in there. Anyway, go watch that. You shouldn't just use these libraries because I said their names. Go learn the use case that they're meant for. But we didn't talk about Zustand or Jotai in this conversation, though I kind of wish that I'd at least mentioned it. We talked about 3D animation in the browser, and so Paul there's a library called 3JS which allows you to use the canvas to draw 3D animations in the browser. And Paul created a React 3 Fiber, which is a React renderer for 3GS. And so I did like a little intro tutorial to 3JS, and it was really kind of confusing and a little bit hard. And then I switched from the tutorial to React 3 Fiber, and all of a sudden everything is way easier. So yeah, really interesting stuff. And to build a custom React renderer is no small task. So yeah, smart person here. Definitely worth a follow on Twitter as well. He's always sharing really cool things. Let me just show you something. Like, you're probably not appreciating how cool this is. So let me show you just the GitHub repo and a couple of the demos that they have on here. And this will blow your mind. Watch this. Ah! What is this? Look at this. This is all made with React 3 Fiber. You can do that on the web. This is in a browser. Yeah. David, I see your comment. Yeah, this look, that guy's following the mouse. This is happening in a browser. That just blows my mind. It is so cool. So cool. All of this happens with React 3 Fiber. My goodness. Yeah, that's awesome. This just occurred to me, and we need to add Discord badges to all of the workshop repos. That's a good idea. Let's do that. Anyway, very cool stuff. All right, so then I talked with Jen Creighton. She's a longtime friend. We've been friends for, well, maybe not she's not a friend from my childhood or anything, but for several years. And she's just a very insightful person. We talk about, how to be a good open source maintainer, and lots of really interesting thoughts that Jen has from being an open source maintainer. And let me grab her. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So this is where I first met Jen, was when I asked for examples of React components that use tons of props. And she said, I call that an apocalypse. I just died. That was so funny. So yeah, she's working on Apollo, doing some really awesome stuff. And she's also an organizer of Use React NYC. Just really, really cool person. Yeah, I'll just paste her Twitter here. Fun person. Okay, cool. And I talk with, Samantha Brett. Oh, shoot. I can't remember how to pronounce her last name. Brettus. I can't remember. Oh, you know what? I didn't say her last name. I normally do say their full name. But anyway, yeah, so Samantha's awesome. She is, when I first met her, she was pretty new in the industry. And so I talked with her a lot about her entry into the software industry and and the success that she's had. I think she works for MLS now, Major League Soccer, which, by the way, soccer is the best sport in the world. Also, soccer is the wrong name for it, but I'm American, so I'm sorry. So she's great. We had a great conversation about her experience getting into software and tech in general. So awesome chat with her. And then Monica Powell and I have a great conversation. So yeah, let's not freeze with my face looking like that. It's impossible to freeze in a good spot. So, Monica gave a talk at React Rally about server-side rendering, and I wanted her to dive a little bit deeper into this concept in our conversation. We don't touch on server-side rendering directly in React or EpicReact, and so I wanted to get a little bit of that exposure to folks who are watching this. So. I was grateful to Monica for giving us some of that exposure. Really awesome person. I was happy to chat with her as well. Artem is an active member of our community, actually, and he built MSW. This was a life changer for me back in like March-ish timeframe, maybe February. And it just made a huge impact on how easy it was for me to write tests that interact with the backend, and also like develop software at a rapid pace. I'm just total fanboy of Mock Service Worker, and Artem is just an amazing person. He was a doctor, like he's an actual medical doctor, and he switched over from being a medical doctor to being a software engineer. Just a brilliant mind, really awesome person. And he's a member of our Discord community, pretty active there. So big fan of Artem. and I loved our conversation as well. Rachel Neighbors and I have been friends for quite some time, and I enjoyed our conversation very dearly. I can't ever pause it in a way that doesn't make my face look hilarious. But anyway, so Rachel is working on the docs for React, and she did React Native documentation rehaul. And so, yeah, she's been doing a lot of work in investigating and learning about what the community uses the docs for and how to make the docs way better. Because you might notice if you go to the reactjs.org site, then everything's still using classes, even on the home page. And the React team does not recommend classes. I don't recommend classes. I don't even use classes in my material. So it's a little dated. The docs are dated, and it confuses people. And so she is just going to make this amazing docs overhaul. And I'm grateful to Rachel for doing that. And then finally, we have Brian Vaughn. Brian and I go way back. We built a forms abstraction together. Well, actually, he mostly built it. We were working on our individual Angular.js forms libraries, and somebody kind of tried to get a collaboration going to build a generic forms library that's just like vanilla JavaScript thing. And Brian worked on it a ton, and I never really did a whole lot, and it kind of dissolved and nothing came of it, which was kind of sad. But despite that, Brian is just a genius engineer. He works on the React team, just like Rachel. And he's working on the dev tools as well as performance profiling stuff. Yeah, he does a lot of really cool stuff. And we have an amazing conversation. Actually, this is probably one of my favorite. I loved them all, but this was definitely one of my favorites. Brian's just an insightful person. And I just realized my head is in the way. So there it is. That's Brian. He's amazing. All right, so that's it. That is the tour of our expert and interviews. And they're awesome. I hope that you definitely take the time to go through this stuff. One common question, I probably should have mentioned this at the top, but a common question that people have is when they apply purchase power parity discounts to Epic React, they're worried that they're not going to have access to these. That was kind of the plan, but that plan changed. And so you do have access to these even if you apply the purchase power parity discount. So that's cool. And that's everything. So if nobody has any questions, I'll wait for a little bit because I know you all are a little bit delayed. But if nobody has questions, then we'll just wait until this afternoon when we have our Epic React final Q&A. So I can answer any questions that you have about Epic React. And we can just do a little bit of a party celebration that it's the launch is finally over and it's finally here and people are finally learning and it's awesome. So yeah, it looks like we don't have any questions coming in on the live stream Discord, which is fine because I've live streamed literally every day for the last 2 weeks and I have answered all the questions. So we'll see what this Q&A in the afternoon does. Maybe I'll try to queue up some things and let people know. But anyway, this has been awesome. Thanks everybody for joining me on this review of the expert interviews. Good times. And we'll see you all in the future. Goodbye.